Indeed.
Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Corvair. This story will stream live Sundays at 6 p.m. Central here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, you can check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description.
Last time, we followed the expedition after it had left the village and came to a small dock. Clyde discovered that the salvagers who had transported them were the ones he knew from shadier parts of his past, and he assumed a disguise. But as soon as they were across the river, Clyde dropped the illusion and confronted the leader, Ikar the Black. This established a tension, but didn't come to blows, unfortunately. Instead, the group clambered into a metallic railcar with Ikar's second-in-command, Rejal. The tension continued as they passed into the dead gray mists, and Renny and Jasira immediately felt terror rising inside them. After a short while, the machine lurched to a stop, and Theschault, Roland, Clyde, and Boko got off the car with some of the salvagers to try and fix what appeared to be a body lodged within the tracks. The mist began to get to Clyde, who felt the necrosis cutting into his body in a terror that drove him back towards the door of the railcar. There, Rejal attempted to send him wandering into the mists and likely to his death, but Professor Greystorm put an end to the mind-altering magic. The tension was nearly ready to explode when the car finally fixed and made its way to the other side of the wall of mist. Professor Greystorm led them quickly away from it before it came to a head, and the group made their way further into the wastes of the Mournland. The first horror they encountered there was a massive carnivorous plant carrying the undead remnants that it survived upon. The party nearly avoided detection, but Ray was picked up by the creature. Boko tried to rescue her with a rope trick spell, but was barely able to escape himself as the vine smashed into his body. Together, the group was able to dispatch the creature, but as it expired, it released a necrotic energy inside the corpses it had been carrying, bringing them back to life as zombies. On top of all of that, the strange magics in the mist began to bring Boko's rope trick spell to life around him. What will become of our Mournland native? Will the terror keep our party from reaching their destination? And what will they find upon reaching Starmantle Citadel? Let's tune in and find out.
Wait. Am I still stuck as a woman, or have the people that Clyde so rudely dropped the illusion in front of, are they still back on the boat?
They stayed back with most of them were on the boat. Some of them came in that little car with you, but you would have had time to drop it if you would have.
The one that then tried to kill Clyde.
They're no longer with you. No, they're no longer with you. They stayed back at the metallic car.
Okay.
It's been a few hours.
The only people around us are the people who watched me swap my disguise.
Correct.
Cool. Then I'll go back, because I have no idea what voice I used for a woman.
But as we return, you all had just defeated this corpse flower plant within this broken forest around you.
And discovered that was a mistake.
And upon defeating the creature, it had released these zombies, or the creatures within it had risen in their undead state and begun to walk again. Boko, as the magics around you were starting to flicker, we're going to start off, and I need you to roll me a D100.
Oh dear.
You're going.
There he goes. Two. And stream crashed.
Oh.
Yeah, everything decided to go crazy at once, apparently.
Something.
Hey, your voice is back in sync with your mouth now.
And stream's back, maybe?
Hopefully.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And
I'll
there went
pull
the
that
music.
out. That's how it would happen, isn't it? Okay. Well, for starters,
fireball?
As we kick this off, Boko, your spell begins to flicker and open almost like these jaws, as if it's beginning to come to life. And instead, it actually starts to rip and tear, and you see the fractal space around you in this dimension starting to pull apart and disintegrate almost. As you are trying to just keep your emotions calm, your mind is racing, and in this terror, you will have disadvantage on the next saving throw that you need to make, but you can see this space around you is starting to fail. At the top of the round, we had Rhea, who was just dropped from these vines to find herself within a horde of zombies. Rhea, what are you doing?
Probably trying to cut my way through the zombies towards who's the closest person in our party to me.
Theschault is probably the closest to you. Theschault is kind of
I'll head in
standing
his
at the
direction.
head.
So towards him,
All right.
heading as zombies that I, in order of passing.
Certainly, you
Not
can go ahead and
counting
give me the
current
attacks.
manhole resident.
Yeah, he's up in the air though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
I
gonna
mean, you
attack.
could climb the rope to him if you wanted to.
Into the gaping maw with teeth.
Yeah. Seems a little scary up there. I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
sure it's fine.
it's just me. Can I use my bonus action to bring the shadow me up too?
Absolutely.
Woohoo! Okay. No sneak attack though, so just 1 and 2.
Alrighty, and both of those will definitely hit on these things. They are not hard to hit, and you know that they are not the strongest, but there is a small horde of them.
Not hard to hit, you say.
Is this the one that's half damage? I'm trying to, or is this the first
The-
rapier?
The 6 was the first one I hit, and so then the
8
8
is the
is from the shadow, so it's half of that.
Okay, so 6 and 4. Gotcha. All right, so trying to cut and tear into this first zombie. It is still standing right now, but you cleave off one of the arms and kind of stab into the torso. They don't seem to react much, and at least to the pain. But you do get the attention of this one who kind of turns with these hungry eyes, just kind of, or eye sockets rather, as the eyes have kind of degraded out and the jaw just kind of opens slightly, this nasty breath of death spewing in your direction. Anything else, Rhea?
No.
All right. Then that'll bring us to Roland.
All right. I'm gonna try and shoot the one next to Rhea so she can get away.
All right.
We're gonna do a boom. Hard to hit, you say?
Luckily, that does still hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
mark it down. And it's next to Rhea, so I get sneak attack.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Very
25
nice.
damage.
That is plenty as you just pop this zombie right in the head and it splatters gore all over the air. But it drops down.
It turns around and does the whole like at Rhea, and then the lower jaw just goes.
Yeah.
Ew.
Anything else, Roland?
I feel like I should save my healing word for after Boko dies.
Oh, wait a minute.
It ain't gonna stop him from dying. So, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just, do an insightful manipulator on the next one in the line.
Okay. You better roll high on this one, David.
Oh,
A zombie, David.
was that a nat 20 kind of zombie or?
Okay. Well, with that, you have a perfect opening at the start of the creature's next turn. You can immediately use your reaction to make an attack against the creature with advantage.
Okay. Excellent. I will take that and just sight in on this guy right here, and when he starts to go, I'll put a bullet between his eyes.
Perfect. Boko, within this space that is
Everyone
failing,
focus fire on that one.
what are you doing?
Shut up.
Can you see out of it? I know you can't see into it.
I can see down.
Yeah, so you see
Down
these
to the
zombies
hole.
walking by as it's starting to just these like almost like threads unraveling. This space is starting to collapse.
I am going to cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
Just don't get. No.
And I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself and then jump out of the hole here.
All right, you pop down out of the hole. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage.
I'm not more than 10 feet off the ground, by
Yep.
the way.
That's not what this is for.
Okay. I really don't want to take falling damage here.
No, that's not what this is.
Maybe I should have used your
Dexterity
This is
saving
Trump.
throw at God damn it.
You use your thing. Use your thing. You don't want that. Use your thing. Well, yeah, use your thing.
No, use it on the death save, man.
I mean, we'll save it.
Okay.
We're
So
going with the natty here.
as you attempt to kind of dive out of this space that is disintegrating, you pass through and it splits right as you're trying to jump through, and part of you goes through and part of it doesn't, and it jolts your brain and you feel this intense pain that just racks up and down your body. You will take
Oh, no.
14
sound good for
points
his
of
1 HP.
psychic damage.
Okay, so if I... Oh, no. Yeah. I will be unconscious after that.
No.
That just chewed
So-
through all your health too, didn't it?
And
It chewed through all the health that I regenerated last long rest.
Oh
As-
my god.
As Boko goes to dive out of this invisible, instead a body just falls onto the ground. You all watch Boko drop down in front of you unconscious.
Oh my god.
oh, at least he's not dead.
End of my... Since it's not the end of my turn, at the end of my turn, do I have to make a death saving throw? Or is it the beginning?
Beginning.
It's the beginning, okay.
Okay, but now you're a body in the midst of a horde of zombies whose turn is before yours.
Technically, I have more in common with them than I do with you right now.
Oh.
You're about to.
I also took health damage. Does that mean I have to roll on the critical table?
Yep, that's what I was just about to get to. So give me another D100.
Oh, it's gonna be lose a
low.
limb.
Oh, no.
Yo.
That's really high up
77.
there.
Do you have anything
Big
that?
numbers are bad here, right?
Yeah.
Do you have
I
anything
don't.
that edits?
All of
Okay.
mine. All of mine are for crafting.
There are features that like lower it by 10 and stuff. So.
Okay.
Belly.
So
Oh,
honestly,
Boko.
for you, this isn't too bad. As you fall down, your leg just gets caught under you and kind of gets bent the wrong way, and you are considered hamstrung and lose your bonus action until the end of this encounter.
So that's not right.
Jasira, it is your turn.
Oh man. So explain the zombie situation.
There are just a
1,
half
2,
dozen
3, 4,
zombies
5,
who
6, 7.
exploded out of this plant as it died, and they've
Right.
just stood up
So
off
the
the
plant
ground
died.
and started to wander towards the nearest thing, which in this case is you guys.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
good.
throwing zombies at us from somewhere, and we found out that somewhere was inside of itself.
Nasty. Okay.
Very.
Cool.
Deep down inside.
So
It's the zombies you
Deep
make along
inside.
the way.
yes. I think Jasira's gonna probably try to run up and drag Boko away from the zombies. Because what I see from here, she's kind of on the outskirts, so I think that would be the logical
Can we get
move.
a Boko location? Where is he in relation to all of the zombies? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Very close.
Yeah, so
Somehow my brain just completely blanked out on that's where you were.
Their
The
vision
big
is based
X.
on movement.
Cool.
Apparently
And
mine is
Boko-
too.
Boko is doing his best sack of potatoes impression.
Let's see, and then let's see. She has 45 movement speed.
And it'll be
Assuming
halved once you
he's-
drag.
Right.
So getting over there is 15 to get here. And then you can drag
Right.
him about...
Well, another 30. So then, do we say the 5, or what do we do?
We'll say you get him about there.
Okay. And then, ooh,
If you wanted to, you
Yeah,
can
I think that's
also
pretty good.
dash, though, if you want to move him back further and use your action to get him back. Or you can use your action to hold an attack if something gets close to him.
Don't forget my leg.
yeah. No, your leg is still attached, is how I understood
Yeah, it just
didn't
got,
break off,
just
right?
got kind
It
of
just
twisted.
bent.
It's a small sprain.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm
which
just
we're
saying.
like, that's basic Boko. It's fine. Cool. Yank.
I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
replaceable, but like it's a pain in the ass to replace.
I mean, if you want, Jasira can set it for you while you're there dead or dying. You know, whatever you want to do, we'll figure it out. Whatever you
Just zero
Can talk.
punches it back into place.
heals 2 points
The
once you're
healing
alive.
fist.
Anyway, yeah, I think we'll dash. Get him just a little bit farther.
Okay.
Pretty please.
Zombies aren't very fast.
then.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm going by all the lore that they're either really slow or they're really fast, and on the off chance they're fast, we'll get them away.
All right. Bungo.
And that'll be the turn.
All right. Bungo is just going to do catapult. He doesn't really know what else to do. First off, he's going to move closer to the group because he is way too far away. He's going to hide. He's going to hide back here.
Oh, hide behind Clyde. Okay, I thought that's smarter.
Yeah.
That's where Clyde's going.
And then, like, in between their legs, he's going to cast catapult.
Okay.
He's going to up the target and up the damage. So I'm spending 4 MP on this.
Okay.
2 targets at 4d8.
All right. And that's dexterity saves.
Yes.
And what's the DC on those?
DC on those should be 14.
Okay. Okay.
And it's going to be the 2 closest to Rhea.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a d20, Bungo.
Oh,
Cool.
oh no.
Cool.
No,
Cool.
no, no, no,
Cool.
no, no, no.
You got it,
no.
Bungo.
Cool.
Come on, Bungo.
Okay.
Hey,
Cool,
what's
cool,
up?
You just lift out this rock and kind of split it into and fire it at these zombies. The one to the furthest right, it kind of is half of these seem to be slow and half of them seem to be a bit more erratic, and this one just kind of lurches at the last minute and the rock flies by its face, but it collides into the one behind it. So still go ahead and roll me the 48 and it'll hit 2 of them, just not the 2 that you had, or just not one of the ones you had intended.
Cool.
Anybody know Fireball?
All right, 12. Nice. These 2 both get slammed by the rocks and kind of pushed backwards slightly, but they are still standing. Anything else, Bungo?
Nope. Just going to hide behind legs.
All right. That'll bring us to Professor Greystorm. He's going to kind of sigh and kind of just thinking and processing. He churns this energy into a small little like cloud and shoots the cloud forward on the backside, and there is a cacophony of thunder as it echoes out. Ooh, okay. 7. That's 16. All right. As it explodes, the 4 on the backside just get broken to pieces by this massive burst of thunder. However, we're also gonna see because we've got some other stuff happening as well.
Oh.
This is fine. There's literally nothing dangerous.
As he releases off his spell, the spell begins to get warped and shift. And he's able to actually kind of the energy from the spell kind of surges back into him, and these sparks kind of course up his arm and into his body, and he's able to take another action immediately. And feeling this bolt of energy, he's just going to fire out a small electrical charge with a hand and kind of grasp it around one of them. And he'll hit the one that Bungo hit. And with a surge of electricity, this one just kind of jolts and falls down to the ground, of moving as well. As he kind of takes a few steps back in front of Boko.
Sure, his spell comes to life and he gets another action.
And he kind of calls out to all of you, be careful of using the magic. And Clyde, it will be your turn.
Now you tell us.
Clyde is going to move here. He's going to shoot at this zombie with his crossbow.
All right.
Bravo.
17 hits.
Which will now allow Roland to make another attack. For free.
That's right.
And then Clyde is going to use his remaining movement to go back here behind Roland. All right, Roland, you got him.
I'm kind of expecting him just giving him like a pat on the butt, be like, "You got him, guys. Go, good job."
I'm gonna take the guiding. Like, can you guys still hear me? All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Because my headset's crapping out, and this one's buzzing, and this is the one with the mic on it.
Ooh.
So I gotta go shopping for a new headset tonight. Yay!
Yeah.
After
Just hit it with a hammer a few times.
ow. Repetitive percussive maintenance. So I'm basically like, I sighted in on the other one, and like Clyde taps me. I just go boom, boom, shoot the one that he just shot. I'll turn off sneak attack unless
I like Clyde has painted several of his bolts a specific color. That's a target shot for Roland. He just sees it instinctual.
Yep.
Marker lights.
But I don't think that there's anyone
No, there's not.
nearby, so this won't be sneak attack.
That's hits. 10 damage.
To 10 damage.
And it's still holding on, but just barely. You blast off a whole leg, and
Okay.
it's like halfway balancing at this point.
Hey, it matches Boko now.
I'm also missing
and
one
I
arm
have
at
a
the moment.
bonus action, and I'm going to use one of my healing lights on Boko. I guess he deserves that. Get four stamina, Boko.
Hell yes.
Hold on
Reflect on your
one
sins.
second.
Spend them
straight back into combat.
wisely. That's this not magic.
Wait. I still
Okay,
have
it might be.
0.
I don't know. It says celestial energy. I like it. It's literally moonlight.
But it isn't a spell.
Yes.
Did we
effect.
rule that I could either take the healing to hit points or convert it into one? Sorry, to stamina or convert it to 1 hit point.
I don't know if we have talked about that, but
yeah, because I'm not
Clyde, can you paste me the feature on this one?
Yeah. Here, I'll just healing light. There you go.
All right. As Clyde kind of reaches out and surges this energy forward, it wraps around Boko. And Boko, in this moment, you get a flash. And there is... Your vision is completely black in this moment. And there is just this flash of that purple light. And I need you to immediately make me a death saving throw.
Oh.
All
oh
right.
shit.
Let's see how we go. I don't want to do this out in public, so I'm gonna do this.
No,
off
you
my
can
sheet.
actually roll this out in public. This one will be slightly different. So it's fine.
Okay. Roll this out in public. That is a 4.
Might want to use your inspiration on that.
I mean, yeah. What's the worst that could happen? Let's use the inspiration on that.
All right.
All right.
Hold on. That is actually enough for me to regain a hit point.
Boko.
Now we're in rules. I don't know. I'm gonna go get a drink.
Boko, in this moment, as this flash of purple happens, you feel this grip upon your entire soul and being, and you feel you are on the edge of life and death, and you feel it tipping over towards death. And in this moment, you see this shadowy figure, these long, distended, horn-like shadows cascading across your vision, and this jagged purple smile. And as it opens its mouth, you hear a voice for the first time. And then there is a surge of magic, and you burst out, your eyes open up as you feel the earth and trees around you start to grasp and gravitate towards your body, surging and repairing the different pieces of your both bone and organics that had been disrupted from previous effects. Your health is fully restored, and you regain half your stamina as these pieces of the actual Mournwood start to graft towards your body.
Okay, I came back at a sec. I feel like I did more than I thought I was going to, but it was good.
Basically, that's all Clyde sees.
Nobody is ever going to trust me ever again. From the bird incident earlier in the adventure, and now I'm part of the Mournlands. This is going to be a disaster.
We just think Moonlight is real fucking effective.
It'll cure what ails you.
And at that point, it's the zombie's turn, and Roland, you can make another shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, this image is so good, though.
This one still isn't with sneak attack, but it is still great.
It was at advantage, so it is with sneak attack.
Oh, you're right. It was at advantage. I forgot. I thought you just had that. You're 100% right.
You might have to use your reload function one of these rounds.
Except because I have repeating shot,
yeah, aren't they like
it generates ammo every time I fire.
Artificers for
Thank
the
you,
win.
Theschault.
Give me that roll.
And just, after the swap pop, swap back, and then he takes one step forward, and then it going from aiming center of mass, he realizes that Rhea's behind there. Just go, I tell you to duck, but and come on. Something tells me that 42 damage will be the meaning of life and non-existence for this zombie.
Yeah, and just for kicks and giggles, roll me a D100 plus 60. Because these zombies have a weakness to critical hits.
Oh my god.
Come on, give us triples. Yeah!
You see this one,
fuck.
yeah, just like hopping, or no, this one's kind of wandering forward, and you just spin around and just blast it clear. Just the head pops off the shoulders and goes flying. The creature just breaks nearly in half as it crumples down into dust.
Bullet goes through the entire spinal column, shattering it.
Finish him.
Roland's learning how to curve his bullets.
Well, in the last zombie that's still alive.
Yeah, I was gonna fuck the Theschault up. Uh-oh.
is gonna slowly wander forward. Okay.
Oh, now watch
Wow.
us struggle for the next half hour to kill this zombie.
Okay. All of these zombies, except for this one, failed their undead fortitude.
Oh.
So only one of them comes back to life. And yeah, so these two will then approach Theschault, and both of them will make attacks. Gosh, all of these are terrible. They just slam into Theschault's armor, but it is thick. Theschault doesn't even need to deflect as their fists just kind of break across the heavy plated armor. Renny.
Oh, in my mind, I have the image of him hitting a button and wipers coming up and wiping some of the gunk off from him.
I'm muttering the whole time that I don't like this. This is scary. These guys are wrong. This is bad. Wait a minute.
What's it like to get missed by something?
I was always told that zombies don't like cards. And so I am going to stand here and I'm going to throw a cone of cards at the zombies.
Wait, but we've talked about this. Magic bad. Oh no, you don't know that it's magic.
To me, it's just my cards. So I am going to throw.
Oh boy. Hey.
Oh,
Mike,
you were the
another
wrong
action.
person to take into this place, weren't you? Ah, shit.
I will throw cards at the zombies.
Dexterity saving throw. What's
And
the DC?
I will force them to make it a disadvantage with my gambler thing.
Sure.
The DC of my spells is 16,
Yeah,
sir.
they hella fail. Give me that damage.
I'm so glad Jasira dragged me out of the way.
15. Okay.
I take that!
Nope.
As I throw a deck of cards at a zombie.
Yeah, Renny, how do you want to do this?
I see the cards start to hit them, and I just keep throwing over and over. Just there's cards flying left, right, center. Just a whirlwind of these cards.
Are you
As the
saying,
first-
is this your card every time?
And as they just continue to just hit into it, just be like, I knew that was supposed to work.
I love
and then
it.
I've got one card left in my hand. And I take a look at the card, and it's the Ace of Hearts. I just tuck it right back into my pocket, and just kind of shake my hands of it and turn away.
Renny, roll me a d20.
You might do that.
Okay. You tuck it in.
Meditating.
And for now, enemies are defeated, and you all have made it out of combat. No one is dead.
Amazingly.
No one is dead anymore.
Only one death saving.
There was only one unconscious.
Boko refuses to die.
So Jasira, you look down, and Boko, who is resting at your feet, part of his arm that had been, well, the entire arm that he had left behind has been replaced with this new pieces of wood and organic life from the ground. There is an entire portion of kind of one of these massive branches that makes up one of his forearms now. Pieces of his body where there had been wounds have been grafted over where this bark and wood has sealed the wounds shut. And he kind of looks up, no source of weakness found within his face, whereas moments ago he was on the verge of death. You look across and you see...
You look a lot better than you did a few moments ago.
Professor Greystorm looks down as well. I would say so. The magic in the Mournlands, it is temperamental and can be strange. He looks over at Clyde. What did you attempt to do to him?
Well, usually to get some moonshine, I gotta distill it. I've been working on doing that more naturally, and that's what I gave him.
Interesting. Normally the healing magic within the Mournlands, within the mist, it is almost impossible to heal at all. Even within the Mournlands, it is difficult.
Can I get an insight check from Jasira? Am I allowed to ask for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm down. Let's see.
Gonna have to test this again later when I have another. Well, before we go to bed. See if it's effective again. Or just kills you.
Is that supposed to be an advantage?
On insight?
Yep. I mean, she always gets advantage on insight. And then ironically, she gets advantage on investigation pockets. And kind of just try to give him like a reassuring like pat.
Yeah. Boko's just gonna do a quick assessment of self.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
actually,
you-
Clyde's gonna want to come and see how he's doing, because you were getting real fucked up, and Clyde was kind of worried when you got eaten by a portal you made. So, is Boko looking pretty good, pretty healthy right now?
In this moment, yeah, he is, strangely.
Alright, Boko, no more portals, okay? Magic's still fucky as it always was here. Some reason this worked, but it ain't always gonna work. It's gonna go bad for us real fucking soon, because it always does. What happened last time, and it's what almost happened here.
Boko is testing out the new arm. Does
Clyde's
it
gonna
respond well?
slap Boko right across the face.
Damn.
Let's see. Let's see if Clyde does. Strength.
Everything else can hit me, Clyde.
No. You
Aw,
lift up the arm to
cute.
look at it.
Oh man. Boko is very confused. Do his limbs respond as they normally do?
Yeah?
Boko is going to look at Clyde, and then he's going to look over at Echo Greystorm, and he's going to say, "Can you detect the disease on me now?"
Ooh. Ooh.
He looks for a moment. Is it worth the risk of potentially having another thing to worry about for you?
No, it is not. We should keep moving.
I agree.
And as they keep moving, Boko is going to look for the opportunity to speak to Roland,
Oh boy.
where others preferably cannot
I'm
hear.
gonna take you off into a dark corner of the woods here real quick after having his limbs changed to colors of the trees. Nothing suspicious here.
Can you paint with all the colors of the tree?
Yeah, so you all continue to walk across this field or kind of broken forest as it is. And the ground starts to get more soupy and moist as more and more water starts to become present as you are moving into what appears to be some kind of marshland. But Boko, you find some time kind of weaving to the back of the group as everybody's just trying to be quiet and keep an eye out for more of these dangers to get rolling alone.
Boko is going to just bump into Roland and whisper sort of under his breath to him. He's going to say, I know I had said that I was going to respect your fear of the afterlife. But something has changed. Roland, you have a mind that surpasses even my own for gathering information. And if it was not absolutely necessary, I would not ask this of you. But I need you to accompany me into the realm of the spirits tonight. The man who breathes dragonfire is here, and he is watching. He is very close. And I know nothing of him. I need a mind outside, something that was not steeped in the evil of the Mournlands. I need you to see what you can glean from him.
So the man who breathes dragonfire is in the spirit world?
He is the one who taught me how to go there in the first place.
And he's here?
Yes. He is what's had... He had a role in what you saw before.
He seems friendly then.
He is very keen to see me die.
Then why would he heal you? I assume that's what you're talking about?
I do not know. Would you accompany me?
On one of your rituals?
Yes.
Taking my blood?
Yes.
You always get me into trouble.
This is true. And you sometimes get me out of it.
I always try. Yes. Yes.
I think Jasira should be there as well, to watch over the circle when we enter.
Okay.
I will instruct her on how to break the circle. I have never had someone from the outside do it before, but it may be necessary.
Are you sure that your magic is not going to react poorly as the rest of magic here has?
Roland, this is magic that was born here.
I don't know whether I should find that comforting or very, very concerning.
Neither do I.
I wonder if... Well, probably not. Clyde isn't even going to be able to put up a tiny hut, is he?
I don't think it is a good idea.
Turn into a large spherical maw and eat us as we sleep.
I can't think of worse ways to die. Unfortunately.
Can I? Unfortunately.
In the meantime, keep your eyes out for anything you can see that is purple.
Purple?
Yes. It
Well,
is.
that's an odd color.
It is a dangerous color here.
Good to know.
Boko will start to drift back towards the group.
As you all continue through this terrain, it gets marshier and marshier, and the ground starts to cling to your feet. Every time you step and lift up your boots, it feels like there is this pulling sensation all the way up through your leg, like your stomach is falling out, like that same lurching feeling going down a large hill. You step and you can see the forest getting more dense ahead as these large red-barked trees with jagged edges of some kind of thorns growing out of their trunks. And this soft wind that blows through. I would like for someone to head up a group survival check.
Do we have any survivalists?
Not Clyde. He'll help. A plus 5's a lot better than my plus 0.
I have a +2.
I also have a +5.
All right. So, are we going to have Jasira or Boko help Professor Greystorm in guiding you all through this terrain?
How you feeling, Boko?
Let's have the player character do it.
Well, no. But
It's Jasira or Boko are
Yeah.
helping Professor Greystorm.
yes.
Oh,
It will
right.
be a player character,
Sorry.
of course.
He's actually providing the help action in this situation, but narratively they are
But-
helping him.
I got you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I would be okay to defer it to Jasira.
Okay.
Okay.
So Jasira is
Jasira can
leading up this
attempt.
group skill check.
Last time Boko led anywhere, he almost got eaten by a portal.
We will once
Yeah.
again kind
You're
of
gonna
go.
have to be more specific.
You have to start a pamphlet.
We will once again kind of go
I'm
around and see how people are going to support this. And so we'll start with Clyde. Clyde, what are you doing to support navigating across this terrain?
When Clyde was last in this area, it's been years, but was there similar terrain? And
There are pockets of this, scattered across.
Going back on maybe from his own experience, historical traveling through, trying to explain and give an idea of how better to position yourselves in this marshland to not get sunk quite as much.
Okay. I will let you roll I'll say either an intelligence, charisma, or nature check here. You're either trying to describe it technically, you're trying to be a good communicator, or you're trying to understand the intricate effects of the nature around you.
Okay, so you said intelligence,
Charisma.
nature, or charisma.
Correct.
I'd probably do charisma.
Okay. So
But
this will
is it
test
in-
your explaining skills.
Okay. Yeah. Just,
You talk all the time. You'll be great at it.
sure, but it's not plus anything. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right.
It's perfect.
That's one success. We'll do Renny next. Renny, how are you assisting this check as you're navigating across this area?
Yeah, what you do is you get down on all four.
Oh no.
I will look back and think if I know of any stories that help you get out of swamps and bogs and things like that without getting hurt.
Okay.
Goes through all the stories. Don't go into swamps or bogs because you'll die.
Roll me a
Good
history
story.
check, Renny. All right. That is a success. Would you like to, I guess, give us a short snippet of what that story sounds like?
Yeah, so I remember a tale once of a couple old explorers who had said that you're often going to come up to quicksand. And when you come up to quicksand, your best bet is to flail around wildly, screeching and hollering and stomping about. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute. No, that's not quite right. You're supposed to lay flat on your back and be quiet. And so I will demonstrate how one is supposed to approach quicksand by first laying on my back and being quiet, as opposed to actually hooting and hollering and stomping about.
I love it.
Perfect.
Roland, how are you assisting?
Roland is very nervous about the idea of taking part in Boko's ritual and is going to be spending the time praying and
Ooh, poor
so
decision.
doing casting guidance.
Ooh, very poor decision.
Okay.
It's a cantrip.
Hurt.
In this
Yeah, I can
case,
still slap you.
go ahead and make me a religion check.
Oh no. God's gonna excommunicate you.
Yeah,
Get
it's a rap
smoked.
cantrip. It's not that bad.
All right. This is a failure. And in this moment, you feel... Usually you have that kind of soft warmth in kind of the back of your head that gives you that creative inspiration, that bit of extra oomph. And something about the mists in the Mournland has cut off that connection, that how you relate to your deity, it's currently extremely distant to the point that you question if it's even there.
Yay! I agreed to take part in one ritual and suddenly...
Take that as you will for what the divines are thinking of your agreement. Rhea, how are you assisting in this traversal across the terrain?
As the two half
I-
things are. Come on, this is how
I
you're supposed to
could-
do it.
Yeah, I could perhaps just help by looking around. I've got both good vision and good perception. So watch out for obstacles and try and warn in advance of anything coming up.
Okay, I'm going to say then give me a perception check.
Looking for the spots of
Straightforward.
quicksand.
Yeah, you know?
Oh, that is another
Nice.
failure.
Ooh.
So
It's very dusty in here, you know?
It's really dusty.
Hard to see.
this
Theschault, blow all the dust away with your steam.
this
Get that steam
terrain
facial out.
this terrain is different.
That's my take.
This terrain is different than anything you have ever experienced, and everything that you look at that you expect to be one way ends up being an opposite, and shadows that you think are these creatures tend out to just be these trees bent into strange angles. The ground itself almost seems to move and shift, and the horizon is always ever changing, and everything just makes you feel uncomfortable, and you're shrinking into the shadows more than you normally would. This just bit of introversion coming over you, and you don't even feel safe there. Bungo, how are you attempting to assist this?
So I think Bungo is going to kind of fall back into his role as a student, and he is just going to study whatever Professor Greystorm is doing in the moment. He is going to be watching intently and copying it, and then kind of trying to help the other people in the group. He's also paying attention to like, oh, okay, that's what you're doing with quicksand.
He's sketching.
So yeah, he's learning and then trying to like help the other people who may not be paying as much attention, being a little bit of a teacher's pet. Like, actually, what you're supposed to do is this.
It's Wingardium Leviosa, not Wingardium Leviosa.
Yes. Exactly.
Can you give me an intelligence check? All right.
It's a
Ooh,
save,
thank you,
but
Bungo. Oh.
That is still a success,
It's the
regardless.
same, yeah.
Cool.
So as you are kind of going through these steps, you see that Professor Greystorm has the air of someone who is in charge, but he's like this disapproving Asian parent where not everything you do is never good enough, and he's constantly correcting you and giving even the slightest minor adjustments. And there's always just this sense of disapproval that starts to emanate from what you're doing. And some of the others who have good insight, such as Jasira, definitely are picking up on this, and it causes you to have questions on why Bungo is here in the first place. They seem to have this teacher and student relationship, but why is a student in the Mournland? But for now, he is helpful, and he is actually assisting you all in making it across this marsh relatively easily and speeding up the process. Theschault, how are you assisting here?
So if we're going through this marsh, I would figure that there might be a way to maybe at least dry it out a little bit, make walking a little easier. So I'd like to probably try and just pump superheated air onto the ground just by removing the water from my mechanisms.
Okay. For this, I think we're going to roll with a nature check to try and see how the ground would respond. Here we go.
Uh-oh, he's gonna make quicksand.
Oh my god!
I roll so good for you,
Theschault.
How many times?
Either way.
Now?
Oh man.
Insane.
How did it go?
So good.
Natural
Amazing.
20.
Natty.
Yo ho ho ho!
And so as you guys begin to move into this denser marsh and things get even worse as far as navigating, Theschault is able to actually siphon and adjust the water with the various accoutrements that he has on his gear and find the areas that are most stable and drain water from one area to another and continue to keep you all as safe as possible. Boko,
Just a pump.
is there anything that you are doing to assist here?
I think Boko brings a little bit of a unique perspective on traveling through this area, and I feel like anytime you're in a place where there has been so much death, there are layers, not just physical, but also ethereal and spiritual, that overlap. And Boko has been steeped in these. And so his method of navigation is less of the physical world and more of paying attention to the energies that flow through here and the spirits that either help or hinder, and knowing the difference. And so I think he's going to try to think into that natural attunement, into the unique nature of the Mournlands, and use his experience to hopefully lend some assistance. I don't know a check either.
Yeah, we've already done intelligence, so I think I'm going to lean towards Arcana here. as you're trying to channel kind of your understanding of that magical essence of soul and connecting to the world around you. So go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that is still a fail, just under what you needed.
Oh.
Yeah, Boko is also peeking into the spirit world and realizing that the medicine man might be here, and
Things are bad here, even in the spirit world.
Boko,
Yeah.
you have connected to spirits within the Mournland before, but this is a different area entirely, and the Mournland varies drastically. And as you enter into this marsh, the spirits, you reach them, but they're not helpful. And these dark faces start to appear in the water, these ghostly eyes with long wispy hair that seem to beckon you like sirens into the deeper aspects of the marsh. And as you kind of just glance here and there, in some areas you see these bleach white bones that are half reaching up out of the swamp, just grasping open arms, inviting you in. And there's
you
a
do not recognize
small,
the bodies in the water.
there's a small part of you that feels a pull. And you hold yourself steady, but you are uneasy and know that the wrong step here could end disastrously.
Has anybody read that SCP? You don't recognize the bodies in the water?
Not in like 8 years.
I'm getting vibes right now. Danger.
That's everything. Everything here is danger.
So with that, we had 3 passes and 3 failures and 1 natural 20.
Or pass.
So
there you go.
So that gives you 2 passes on a natural 20. And so in this
Ooh.
case,
Well,
Jasira,
Charisma, history, intelligence, nature. That's 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jasira, you would have you're making a survival check with the assistance of Professor Greystorm, so it will be at advantage.
Mm-hmm.
The DC
Cool.
had been 16. With 2 successes, the DC
Okay.
is a 12. So roll me a survival
Okay.
check at advantage.
Okay. Advantage and survival. What up?
Plenty. Please describe how you and Professor Greystorm navigate this marshland to get through without any incident. And think about one thing that might have been a close call that you just narrowly avoid.
Ugh. Well, for some for some backdrop or backstory, you know, Bar isn't the easiest place in the world to be from. She's taken shit scarier than a lot of things here, but it is very new. So I think she's using a lot of perception, a lot of observation, and while Mr. Stern Professor is, you know, kind of like tense and don't do that, you're doing it wrong, keep your back straight. She's just like, okay. And she's just kind of trying to avoid the quicksand that we've been very well informed to lay flat across. And if there's a possible weird bendy tree that kind of looks like a zombie, she's going to get ready to karate chop it.
Chop the tree.
And with some nice, delicate footwork, we get through the marsh unencumbered, I would hope. With a 24.
There's this moment as you're crossing the marsh where you see this sparkle, this small bit of shiny metal that catches your eye, Jasira. And you kind of take a step closer to look, and you see this skeletal-like hand that is holding out this small locket, and it opens up, and you are maybe 5-10 feet from it. And you see inside the locket is this small picture of you and your brother.
No.
And you can't help but
Okay.
reach out and grab it and pull it and look. and it's just a small mirror giving you your own reflection. And you
That hurts.
kind of look, and the skeleton is unmoving, long since dead. But with this released, it kind of sinks slowly into the marsh. And you kind of take a breath. Professor Greystorm looks over at you. Please, we should stay on the path. Come on. And continues guiding you. Kind of breathe the one moment of weakness after you had done everything right and gotten this far. And of course he sees it. But as you all
She'll
make it...
definitely follow.
There is this soft wind that blows as you make it through this dense bit of marshland and out to ground that is a bit more solid. And on the other side, these hills start to break, and you can see in the distance where the valley kind of curves down to a lower point. When Professor Greystorm kind of points in that direction as where you're headed. But you see off to the left there is this small little basic farmhouse. These old wooden boards, everything kind of locked in, almost frozen in time in this gray, black and white space. But as you start to get a closer look, you see just hanging off the front of the small little barn, a body just drifting in the wind, hanging off of a noose. There are bits of mist that kind of cascade up into the higher reaches of these hills as you all walk by, unable to avert the gaze from this body that just gently sways back and forth. Clyde, you can't help but feel your eyes drift up towards this body, and you see its eyes looking directly back at you. These soft blue irises still filled with life, and for a moment you think they are indeed alive. There's still color within this person's skin, but they're unmoving. They can't be alive, and yet the more you look, the more it looks back. It's not quite moving outside of swaying in this wind, but gosh, if it doesn't look like it's still alive. And yet, who knows how long it's been here.
So, any of you all see that one hanging there? That one's giving me the creeps.
That's the only one that's giving you the creeps?
Everything gives me the creeps. That one specifically giving me the creeps.
Does it stare into your soul?
I mean, it just don't look right, do it? Tell me I'm not the only one that thinks that it don't look right.
Renny and Clyde, can you guys make me a history check at advantage?
Oh.
Ooh.
While this is happening, Boko is looking at the obviously cursed item Jasira just picked up.
Oh my god.
And he's shooting her that look that's like, are you going to finish that?
She's just clutching it in her little... I'm assuming there's a pocket somewhere, otherwise she's just like gripping it with a death grip.
I imagine Jasira wouldn't be caught dead without something that doesn't have pockets.
That's what I would think, right? But, you know. Rest in peace, Renny. You got it.
Oh.
Clyde.
What prime memory did you just forget?
Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned that, Clyde, because as you are looking at this body, you see a handful of stones beneath it. And you remember these stories about hags and witches arranging what is known as witch stones. And they say that these things have enchanted magic. Renny, I would like you to describe to all of us one of your favorite childhood memories.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
I remember a time where I was kind of sad that I had gotten into a fight and I had lost the fight. I got beat up. And my grandma, she made me the most delightful, wonderful, awesome apple pie, and she gave me a hug, and she made it all better. And she told me that I would get him next time, and I would always remember this moment, and I would always look back at this, and it would help me to get through tough times.
Clyde, you know that witch stones, they say, you must offer up a precious memory or else be cursed. Renny, as you're talking through this story out loud, suddenly your mind feels a bit fuzzy. You look around and, wait, what were you talking about?
Oh, all right. Well, okay. We're not going to go that way. Ready? Whatever you were thinking about, don't.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now let's just go that way. This is no good. This place is especially no good. No good this way, guys.
You all take the next few minutes and guide down the hills, getting closer and closer to the valley. And even though you haven't seen the sun since you've entered the Mournland, it's clear that night is starting to fall. The gray light is fading. Will you try to continue through the darkness, or try and find a place to set up camp?
We push on through the darkness, then Boko doesn't get to do his ritual.
For a little longer.
I'm good with that.
I know you've been looking for an excuse to join me in one of these. You just needed the appropriate emotional blackmail to do so.
This is it. It's leverage. Let's go.
Roland's voting for pushing on.
Clyde will push on, but you gotta remember, can't see in the dark, and the light's bad here.
Roland will cast Oh Dear.
Oh no.
We can put it up to a vote, says Professor Greystorm. There is benefit for each. We wear down, obviously, by pushing forward, but we get to our goal faster, and hopefully avoid some of the things. Night is not too much different from the day here. Things will hunt and kill you no matter what the time is.
Then let's minimize our exposure.
Clyde will vote for pushing on.
Any dissenting votes?
Boko will just say, I have been waiting many years for the Mournlands to claim my body. It does not matter what time it happens.
Looks to be doing a pretty damn good job.
And Boko will just sort of dip his head a little bit and say, I abstain.
I abstain.
Professor Greystorm nods and continues on down the path. Over the course of the next few hours, you all navigate the hills that seem relatively open, if not a bit unusual. However, you are beaten by this wind that whips up through your hair and presses down this coldness upon your body. It seems to whisper things into your ears, and you get these visions, these moments. Jasira, grasping onto this locket, I would like you to recount your greatest failure or tragedy.
Oh. We're gonna get deep, y'all. I think in a lot of ways, Jasira considers her greatest failure to be killing her brother. Her entire family, her prestigious snooty booty grandparents, her own mother, her absent father. As far as she knows, she destroyed the only person that ever cared about her. And so she greatly regrets besting him in their one-on-one.
As these whispers start to fill your ears, Jasira, these flashes, that memory of that day, that battle that you shouldn't have won. Why did you win? You never expected to win, and so in that moment when you had the opportunity, you couldn't help but take it. You had wanted to live. You had wanted to push on. But it wasn't supposed to be you. And for your greed, your brother's life is over. You just feel his name, his presence whispered around you. Rhea, as these winds rush through your hair, the cold chilling your spine, what is a moment in Rhea's past that haunts her memories?
A moment in Rhea's past that haunts her memories would be in her early days working, or like finding herself in this gang of criminals kind of by accident. It's where her friends were. She was good at doing sneaky jobs and just sort of eavesdropping and gathering information. But the first time she had an incident that would have involved violence of any kind would haunt her memory.
You feel almost that tangible blade in your hand again. You feel that wet feeling of the blood across your hands, that bitter taste from the fight of your own blood, that irony, metallic taste in your mouth. You start to feel that emotion welling up in you, and even start to feel your tears coming again from that moment of that weakened, naive little girl. Some things change and some things stay the same, and you still feel a strong piece of that within you, no matter how many people you have come across and had to silence since then. And in this moment, that girl is brought right to the forefront of your brain, and you feel it in every step that you take. For Bungo, the winds are particularly hard on you, making it difficult for your small halfling feet to move. Professor Greystorm is pushed ahead at the front of this group, and you find yourself wandering at the back. As these winds course into your ears, whispering truths that turn to lies, this sickening sound. What is a moment that Bungo can't help but think about? A moment of fear or panic or failure?
So Bungo thinks back to when he essentially ran away from home, took as much as he could from his parents to try and pay for tuition, so he could go learn magic. And while he was leaving, there was a huge storm that came through, and so he was doubting whether or not he should have left, and definitely feeling very guilty for stealing from his family. But he needed to go learn magic. It was what he was called to do, so kind of pushed on through it, but he definitely still feels guilty about that.
Bungo, as you're pressing forward, your feet feel like they're getting heavier and heavier. Almost like you're being held back by something. You can feel this guilt welling up in you, but you feel something tangible, and you look down, and what had been grass is now these emaciated hands gripping at your ankles, these starved forms of your parents that are holding on, begging for small bits of the money that you had taken to let them continue living. And as you blink your eyes, they're gone, and you're back in this field. You find you're 10 feet behind the rest of the group and have to catch up, but you can't shake it, and every time you blink your eyes, you see those empty, gaunt faces. All of you struggle with these visions of failure and tragedy, these whispers that peek up behind your ears, and this heavy walk that should have been easy. And you're suddenly broken from it by this loud train whistle that clear cuts through the skies. And you look in front of you, and this broken magical rail lies at the bottom of this valley. Tossed on its side is this magical engine, this massive mechanical and metallic object that has been tossed and crumples and lies upon its side, and big bursts of fire and smoke are billowing up out of the side. The cars behind it are crunched and crushed into a group behind it, tossed and spun out on the various rails. This massive scene unfolds in front of you. You guys are maybe a few 100 feet away. How are you responding?
So it looks like a recent wreck?
Yeah, it looks like this train just ran off the rails, and you guys came upon it maybe 10 minutes after this had happened, and there are flames coming out. There is kind of the careening of metal as it's still kind of trying to push whatever mechanism was keeping it forward, and there is just bouts of smoke spilling up into the air.
What the hell?
I don't know what. I don't know what that is.
Does this
trap or
yeah.
it's bad?
Does this seem real, or does this seem like another trick of the Mournland? That at this point, I've been so stressed and sad and scared.
Before the Mournlands was the Mournlands, it was all super tech advanced. It was like that's what everyone was talking about back when I was a kid. They had these trains. You see some of the gnomes, they got them. But that it's just now wrecked, that doesn't make any sense.
If there were an operating rail out here, we would have been on it.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Boko?
Renny, you can make me a perception check trying to kind of examine and see if this is true.
You guys did have the chance for a Noko card, and you passed up on it.
It would already be spent.
Renny,
yes, but imagine the butterfly effect.
Up until now, the things
immediately the next thing would have been worse.
Up until now, the things that you guys have been experimenting or experiencing seems to have been isolated. Each of you getting your own unique type of trauma or horror. All of you heard this whistle, and all of you seem to be responding to what's in front of you now. And for all intents and purposes, it looks pretty real. And you can see Boko already moving off in that direction. The rest of you kind of still stunned.
Clyde's going. If Boko's going, Clyde's like 10 feet behind, like, shit, fuck.
Okay,
Yeah,
this time I'm going to draw my shield and make sure I have my shield on.
You got your arm back, so...
Jasira would follow Boko tentatively.
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's correct.
you know. Okay, cool.
But I like a distance kind of slowly, just cautiously.
Yeah, just kind of like, cautiously. That's the word I wanted to use. That's like tentative. That's how you reply to a meeting. This, like,
guys, after I fixed him, I'm gonna kill him.
Oh man.
Caution is for people that aren't local. Boko's not being cautious at all.
Well, I suppose if Boko's not being cast,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with at this point. I'll follow everyone else.
If we die, we die together.
No, it's like this is hold on. This is a bad idea. This is gonna go terrible. Fuck.
Boko,
I hate you right now.
You all begin to just move after Boko, heading towards this massive scene that just takes up all of the vision in this small little valley. It's dead quiet outside of this mess of metal. laying on its side like an iron corpse, and you can smell fire and burning flesh. There is smoke billowing up into the air as you see this engine tossed and hanging on its side. I did forget one final thing. After going through the winds, because you all had pushed through, you do all have 1 level of exhaustion.
1 level.
Ooh. Yay!
Rough.
But you come upon this engine tossed over on its side. Boko, what are you doing?
Boko has his eyes and ears peeled at the moment, and is approaching this thing as if it's about to attack him. And Theschault is nearby.
Yeah, the whole group is not too far away.
We got you.
Boko is going to look over to Theschault and go, "Can you put out the flames?"
It's something I would actually be pretty good at, as I just am going to load up the water back in my system now that we're back in range of something that's useful for.
All right. Theschault, does your equipment require magical spells to do this, or does it have a natural ability?
I think it's got some natural ability to do it.
All right, if you wouldn't mind looking,
banking on the natural abilities.
Sure, it's all hydraulics.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just looking into that a little bit, while I get into this, because Boko, as you rush up immediately, one of these cars on its side, you can hear one of the windows. There's kind of this soft thumps from the inside, and you catch these screams, please, from within.
Oh.
That's a real shame.
Sucks to suck.
Just these quiet
Boko
voices.
is fuck. Boko is going to kind of sidle around towards that area, and as he goes to sheath the dagger, he's going to stab himself in the chimera. And he's going to give himself proficiency in athletics. And he's going to sheath that dagger and reach into the bag of holding and pull out a crowbar, and he's going to try to go for the window.
For the wall.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
All right. So, Theschault, you're going to expend some Hydra to do this?
Yeah, how much you want me to expend to try to put up the
Go ahead and tick off 1 for right now, and as we kind of continue on, if you continue to do more, then we can do that. But yeah, just 1 for now. Boko, you move up to this window and begin to press a crowbar into it. And as you start to pull and press, you feel it start to give and suddenly lurch and push, and you tumble in, and you look up, and the window is still intact, but now you're on the inside. The rest of you come up to see Theschault putting out some of the flames with the water, but Boko is nowhere to be found.
We're in trouble again, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man.
Where did Boko's? He went through the door and he's gone.
You all kind of
putting up the flames. Boko charged forward.
Yeah, Theschault kind of turns around and he's like, he was just here, and all of you guys can hear this gentle thumping and just gentle just kind of calls out from one of the windows of these cars.
Can we find which one? Can we look in the window?
You guys are right next to one of these cars that's kind of tipped up on its side, and so there's this thumping is coming from one of the windows on this cart.
Someone with a better perception than 2.
Yeah,
I will.
Jasira wants to peek in there.
Go ahead, Renny. What were you gonna do?
I will. As I look at this and I see the windows, I will start to mutter to myself, and you'll hear me, and you knock, and then it always opens, and I will use knock. And see if I can open the door. Or like the windows, pardon me, not the door.
The whole
All right.
train becomes alive.
Renny, go
I'm
ahead.
So scared. Every
go ahead
spell
and give me a
scares me so
D20.
much.
All right. Renny, as you reach out with this magic and try to pull on this window to open it up, just kind of feeling, or rather just kind of knowing what you typically do to try and open things, just always knocking first is nice. There's this lurch and the corner of the window opens up and you kind of put a hand out to kind of see inside and wait. Why do you see trees and fire? You look around. Oh, there's Boko. But now you're on the inside of the train. The window closed once again.
I don't have to touch it. It's a 60-foot. Does that matter?
No, not in this sense.
Okay.
So
That was more narrative.
Did we see?
Yes, you all definitely
Renny
saw.
just poof?
Yes, you all definitely saw Renny kind of just. He was there one moment and then he wasn't. And Jasira, you definitely swear that this noise is getting louder. But Boko, on the inside, you suddenly see Renny standing there next to you. The two of you are within this train car. It's been broken up. There's these wooden boards that are kind of shattered. Cargo is kind of tossed in these broken barrels, but you can feel the heat of the fire outside.
Can you shift click us into position? Oh, I don't have vision.
Yep.
Again. Oh. That's not good.
Oh.
You don't
Good
have.
thing I have a cursed item for this.
You don't have dark vision, right?
Not until right now. I don't.
Okay.
I'm going to grab one of the two bone necklaces that I wear, and I am going to activate it and receive dark vision out to 120, the effects of detect magic, and a +5 to passive perception for 10 minutes.
Perfect.
And lose an eye.
I said the worst thing that could happen.
Nah.
I have yet to make a prosthesis out of a soft organ, so it would be an interesting thing to do.
So yeah, the rest of
I
you.
guess Boko is single, isn't he?
The rest of you saw Renny try to interact with this window and then immediately disappear.
I
Alright.
am.
It's a trap. We've already lost 2. Are we going in? Hold my hand.
Okay.
I'm pulling off my eye patch to give myself X-ray vision.
Oh.
Recon mission.
Okay.
In and out. 10 minutes. That's it.
You get like as you pull off this patch and begin to kind of course through your vision kind of reveals these different layers, almost like these lenses kind of crossing over, and you see the forms of Renny and Boko inside of one of these train cars. You see these large boxes or crates that are kind of piled up in one side of it, and similar situations in other cars, and you just see across the floorboards dozens and dozens of bones.
Oh boy. I'm going to lift a hand to my ear cuff and say out loud for everyone to hear, but also messaging Renny, because if I tell Boko to stand back, he's going to get closer. Basically saying, everybody get back! Away from the window. And I'm going to back up at least 30 feet away and shoot the window.
I will happily pull Boko back and away from the window. That Boko, our friends, they're talking to us. They said to back up. Here, come on, come back with me.
I'll follow Renny. I'm also gonna close my eyes and really listen and see if I can pick up anything moving around us within the train car.
Go ahead and give me a perception or investigation check.
Okay. Could be better.
You hear this quiet voice just calling out to your side. Just, brother? Brother? And then there's this loud and suddenly Roland's rifle appears on the ground in the car.
Whoa.
I'm grabbing that rifle.
And shortly thereafter, Roland lands on top of it because he's going in after the rifle.
I have been waiting
Boko.
55 sessions to get Roland away from his rifle.
Boko,
It was a long time. It takes and it runs.
there's this split
No,
moment.
I don't have to spell.
There's this split moment in your mind as you see the rifle hit the ground. You hear this call out, and from where the voice is, this darkened hand begins to reach out from these crates.
Nope.
What are you
Sarah,
doing?
you gonna go in with me? I'm going in.
I'll go.
All right, boost me.
Whoosh!
One
And
of
we
Boko's
lunge.
highest priorities was to try to find a way to cast Magic Mouth on Roland's gun.
Oh my god.
Given the circumstances. Does this hand appear malevolent in any way? And did you say it was reaching for him or for the gun?
It's for reaching. It's back in the back of this cab, back here, and it's reaching out in your direction. Make me an insight check. In this brief moment that you have before Roland and Clyde and Jasira pop through, you are not getting a malevolent sense. It feels childlike and fragile.
Cut it off.
And as
That's how they
soon
get you.
as soon as you have this moment of indecision, poof, 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 you see as Roland pops in, followed shortly by Jasira and Clyde.
They pop in just in time to see me grab this hand.
Oh boy.
Oh, great.
Oh no.
Boko,
Except I don't have vision.
Defending the specter.
I have X-ray vision though. Does X-ray vision give me some semblance of dark
If it-
vision?
If it
I mean,
matters.
kind
Do I
of.
just see
All-
skeletons
Wait a
everywhere?
Wait a second. I totally forgot. All of us have disadvantage on our skill checks.
Ability
because we're
checks.
all exhausted, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Checks.
Go ahead and give me that insight one more time.
Roland
Interpret
sees
that as you may.
blue lines encompass all of the things around him.
I'm nothing if not honest.
This was luckily a low enough DC that you essentially get the same information, but you're a little bit more on edge about it. And so you're like hesitant to reach out, and you see beneath the shadow a childlike form reaching towards you, but the skin is darkened all over. It's purple and black with these pale streaks of white just strained across like broken seams in rock. And it's kind of crawling out of the broken wreckage and lifting a hand in your direction. But its face is kind of malformed, where one of the eyes are kind of bulged out and distended from a partially broken skull. And you just
don't
hear
think
that
he's alive.
soft voice, just, brother?
Oh.
Have to take the hand.
You don't. Use your third hand. Use your third hand. Use your extra hand.
The four of you...
I have to spend a magic spell to change to the hand. Should I do it?
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it.
The four of you see Boko reaching out towards what is now this form in front of you. And you see this small childlike form as it grasps Boko's arm. And it just quietly talks out as it begins to kind of stand up from where it was. Brother Maris, is that really you? I tried to stay strong and wait for you just like you said. It got so dark. But you did come back for me. Thank you.
Ooh.
Boko, you can hear the broken skin crackling like crushed paper as this child is reached out its hand towards you. it feels like it could fall away at any moment.
Take it. You need more.
Boko is going to look over to Roland and see that he has the eye patch up. And he's going to say, "Can you find us a way out of here?"
So, Austin, question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have dark vision, but I have X-ray vision right now. So,
fuck.
This vision has a radius of 30 feet. To you, solid objects within that radius appear transparent and don't prevent light from passing through them. So does that mean that I can now see in here because there's light out there?
It's kind of weird. It's almost like these layers of wireframe geometry where you get this just weird vision. Like you can see the things, but it feels like you're in a non-rendered 3D space where it just has like the outlines.
Noah, I have Mistborn sight.
That's what I was saying before. Yeah, baby.
But can you push and pull?
You can kind of navigate, but it's not going to be easy. It's very disorienting as you haven't done this before.
Well, for Clyde, it's completely dark, right? It's completely pitch black.
Yeah, Clyde doesn't have dark vision.
All right, Clyde's going to roll the dice on this one. He's going to cast light on one of his bolts.
All right, roll me that d20.
Yeah.
I have detect magic up from this necklace. Does anything proc?
Roll me a d20, Boko.
Oh, that one didn't even roll.
Extra action.
The only thing that, well, I'll say, as you kind of pull this detect magic up, it feels so weird in that normally magical objects are outlined. And at first it doesn't look like anything is outlined except for the child. And then the longer you look around, you realize it's not that nothing is outlined, it's that everything is outlined. But there is the strongest presence coming from the child that is kind of caught within your hands right now.
Go put that down. You don't know where it's been.
Boko is going to pick the child up and with one arm bring his shield up in front of it and is going to go, "We need to find a way out of here very quickly."
I'm going to see if I can find a way through the wireframe.
Give me an investigation check at disadvantage.
Does Clyde blow himself up with a light cantrip?
No, Clyde, you pull this light up, and it does actually assist Roland a little bit. But rather than being the natural kind of soft white moonlight, it is this dark, just ominous and heavy orange. And
I've got safety lights.
As you all are trying to navigate out through this, Roland, it's a small car. There's only so many ways you can go. You know the window should be a way out, but try as you might, you can't seem to find a way through. Even with Clyde kind of shining the light on it, it seems thick and almost smelted together around the edges. There's no door on here that isn't covered in all of this massive cargo. But you look down, and beneath these broken floorboards, there is some sort of hatch that is kind of covered with the debris that is easier to get to than the door.
Okay. Just kind of still getting used to the situation. He's basically going to reach straight for the hatch and then punch the debris. Go, help me get this cleared.
Yeah, without too much trouble between the four of you and Boko holding onto the child, you're able to clear out and see this hatch. Who's going in first?
What was the brother's name that the child said?
Maris.
Clyde will go behind someone who can see, but he will have his light.
In an astonishing display of bravery, I'll try it.
All right. Renny, you try the hatch and it's not locked. It is very hot though, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, we need some gloves.
I'm gonna get hurt.
Ooh.
Renny, you are going to take 14 points of fire damage as you grasp onto this metallic hatch and lift it up through the pane, but you are able to get it open. And you all see a darkened path out to the world outside.
Thanks, Renny.
And
it's a little toasty. Don't touch the metal if you can help it, guys.
At this point, all of you single file leave this cart, noticing the bones that are mixed with the debris of the floor in this cart, and kind of coughing through the smoke out onto the other side, and escape the car. Boko, you emerge to see the others, and Theschault still kind of putting out some of the blaze as you hold this weak form in your hands. This small child kind of gives out a cough, just... Thanks, Maris. I knew you would come back for me.
Who is this Maris?
This is Maris. He's my brother. And you can see the child kind of gives a big yawn and kind of leans back.
Boko is going to sit down with the child and do a quick check, see if this child's physical form is actually compatible with life.
Yeah, did we get out of there within a minute?
Yeah. It was pretty fast.
Okay. I am Superman X-raying this kid to see if like there's actually fucking bones in there or if it's just a sack of mimic.
Oh,
that's fair.
Roland, you do see bones, but they are broken and shattered. Half of the skull is burst and broken. The ribs, half of them are completely shattered. One full leg is barely together with multiple stresses and strains. He looks bad.
But he was moving normally?
He was carried out by Boko. He was crawling across the floor to Boko. Boko, if you would like to make me a medicine or investigation check, you may.
Can I help him to clear the disadvantage by like pointing out where the breaks are so he can go looking for them and see if they're real?
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah. Boko, you're very familiar with human anatomy, and you can feel the weakness, the points where things bend or move where they don't, where they shouldn't. You can see the distended shapes within the head and where the eyes are bulging out. There shouldn't be a reason that this child is alive at all. And that fragile, paper-like nature, it could break at any second. This isn't life. It just has yet to realize it is death.
Ooh.
Boko is going to look at the child and he's going to say, "You are tired. It is time to close your eyes."
He yawns and stretches. I do feel kind of sleepy. Okay, brother. And he kind of leans into your shoulder. And you all watch as this small form, as it starts to find its rest, breaks apart like paper and water into this fine little dust that is just picked up on the wind and blown away. And as the wind passes through, so do the flames, dying down. The screeching of that train whistle stops. The metal wheels stop spinning. This scene around you, rather than being the moment of whenever it happened, fades. Now the plants that have grown up around it over the years are revealed. The places where the metal has rusted away. The places where the arcane engine has long since gone dormant. Boko, in your hands, you are left with a small paper image. A graphite picture that an artist rendering. Two figures, one much taller than the other. A young boy, probably in his teens, hair grown out in that natural emo phase. And a much younger child with bright features and a wide grin across his face. You gain a +2 to all saving throws for the next 48 hours.
Yo.
He gonna need it.
Yeah.
Boko's going to tuck the picture into his pouch.
For most of you who have been on the outside, Rhea, Theschault, Bungo, only a few minutes have passed. And Professor Greystorm is just now catching up to the rest of you.
What happened? What is going on here? We should not linger. Places like these are not safe.
No kidding. Professor Greystorm, you have heard the saying curiosity killed the cat.
I am starting to wonder if I am traveling with a lot of cats.
Boko, would you meow for me really quick?
Just one really, really curious one.
I was assured that you all were experienced adventurers, but even those who have experienced much in life may not have seen much of the Mournland. Spirits wander restlessly. Magic is uncontained and volatile. This place is extremely dangerous. And
But don't worry,
perhaps
we have lots of experience. Unfortunately, half of our experience is because Boko keeps touching things.
Well, then perhaps it is best that we try and find some place to at least get a bit of rest. You all, I do not think, are in the best state of mind.
We pushed through this far, we should just get to the end.
It is still a few days' journey. We will have to rest at some point. If it is not now, then we can continue on further. If you can promise me that you will not go gallivanting off on whatever mysterious illusions or magic you see within this place.
In that case, we should probably take a rest for Boko's sake.
Mm-hmm.
I have spent much of my life within this place. And children are a very rare occurrence within the Mournlands. This is...
But ghosts aren't, Boko.
If there are spirits here, we should get away quickly. Come, let us at least move back onto the path.
And as he begins to kind of guide you all back, you begin to follow this trail, this lightning rail, which are not quite normal tracks. They have these resonant magical aspects in them, but they have long since gone dormant in the Mournland. But it does provide a clear path forward. Professor Greystorm guides you at least a few hundred feet away from where the engine crash was and kind of looks back at all of you.
We need to be careful of spiritual influence and rampant magic. Are you all good to continue, or should we take some time? I want to get there as fast as you do, but if you are not fit to make sound decisions, then you are no use to me.
Boko's going to look at Echo Greystorm and he's going to say, I respect your authority here, but I will not apologize. I again will say, the spirits of children are to be protected. And this is interesting because regarding spirits, Boko has never taken a side positive or negative until now. And even Boko doesn't look sure why he did it.
There is a bit of back and forth in Professor Greystorm's mind before he just kind of...
What's done is done. My question still stands. Do you all feel ready to continue on? Or should we rest?
We should rest.
Adam, you're
Boko
muted.
is having trouble keeping his eyes open.
I'm muted.
It's like, yeah,
Guys,
I'm
we're going to
pretty
get
tired.
real slow if we keep on. We'll be barely
Alright.
moving as it is, and we don't have a wagon now.
Very
Maybe
well.
we put a half an hour between us and this place.
Professor Greystorm kind of nods and he looks to Bungo.
Bungo, we will continue moving. Go ahead and get on the disc. Look through and find our lodgings. That way we are ready to set up the tent whenever we get there.
And Bungo, you climb aboard this floating disc that Greystorm has these two large crates that have just been following you all as you've been moving, and begin to kind of rustle through them, trying to find where these different materials are. And there are numerous different things of provisions, and tents and sleeping mats. And you guys go about 30 minutes before you finally do begin to set up a sort of camp right off of these tracks. And Bungo, Professor Greystorm has you immediately put to work setting up this large tent with an extravagant bedroll, kind of cooking on his food, and kind of takes it into his tent and leaves you with your small bedroll out by the fire here.
I know a couple songs that do help one get some rest. My grandma used to call them lullabies. Would you guys like to hear one?
Sure, just don't give it no haunting things. There's enough creepiness out here as is.
The king and his men stole the queen from her bed.
If you finish
Sorry.
the rest of that line, Boko will not stop hounding you. Boko leans in and goes, and how does one accomplish this feat?
Also, that was David. Roland cannot sing.
Has he tried?
He lived half his life on a ship. I'm pretty sure he's tried.
Fair.
Enough alcohol and anybody will try.
Alcohol makes you sound 10 times better, don't you know?
Yeah, especially to yourself.
I think Boko will enjoy the lullabies for now, and we'll wait for a little while before approaching Roland.
We need to start drugging Boko.
Roland was like, you could see, like, had a nervous tick cleaning his rifle, like, and so Boko probably approached, like, right at the exact instant that the nervous tick was starting to die out, and it comes right back.
Every now and then in the background, you hear BAM! As Clyde's throwing trail rations onto his seasoning pan.
Make it mighty tasty.
Such a badass item.
The gourmand feat without a resource investment.
Got a pan that makes everything delicious. Everything? Everything.
It's magic.
Never mind.
So, Boko, you were coming up to Roland?
Yeah, hopefully when everybody's starting to try to fall asleep.
Yep, so right when the nervous tick is starting to die out, and it comes right back.
Mm-hmm.
Boko will look at Roland and he'll say, "Come with me. Let us grab Jasira."
And abandon the party.
And go back to the train.
You fuckers. No.
We're only a half hour away.
Hee
You
yeah.
you go in and grab Jasira, who is curious enough to at least listen, and kind of take a few steps away from where this fire is. Professor Greystorm has long since been in his tent, and Bungo is kind of cooking his own meal there, and Renny stretched over a log, kind of playing his concertina as Clyde is bamming away some new food. What are you guys doing?
Kind of creeping off a little ways away from the main group. Boko is going to look at Jasira and he's going to say, "Roland and I are going to see what is going on the other side. It is unclear what is going to be there, and there is a chance that something bad will happen. Should you see this happening, reach down and break the circle with your hand. It is very important that you are clear of mind when you do so."
Is this what has been terrifying you?
No. What is on the other side is.
Understood. I will do my best to keep watch.
He looks at Jasira and he says, "Do not listen to anything you hear. Boko will take a couple steps away, pull out the regalia.
Okay.
Yes.
There are spirits I don't want to see.
I am more familiar with that concept than I think you realize.
There are questions I'm not ready to answer.
I am not asking you to engage or make it deals. I am asking for your mind. For the leverage you provide.
The
Roland.
person died. The one fight I didn't finish, and now my father is dead because of it.
Roland. As someone who has died many times, I assure you, no death is planned. Nothing you can do could have changed that. Fate has a very strange way of making sure that you do what it wants. I have been ready to die for many years, but I am not allowed to. Fate is a strange creature.
I have been allowed to die my entire life, but I am not ready to.
Roland, I have a difficult question for you. And I want your honest answer. This ritual, it takes a cost. In this case, a cost of blood. So I ask you, how much are you willing to bleed?
Let's find out. And he'll pull his short sword from the side of his from his side and draw it across the back of his arm. And I'm just gonna roll the dice on how much I take.
On a scale of 1 to 7, how much are you willing to bleed?
Well, I think a short sword has a d6 die, so let's roll a d6 to see.
I am adjacent to you, so you can roll your sneak attack if you want.
Dang.
You're gonna bleed out, bro.
Critical to yourself.
I can't see the dice because my roll 20 is so slow.
It's 6.
On
Okay.
a scale of 1 to 7, it's a 6.
Unfortunately, that scale is in health die.
I know.
Or hit
I
die.
know. I know. I know.
I am going to put in 7 hit die.
Is
I'm putting in
Jasira
6.
putting in anything? Or
Are
is-
we allowed to from outside?
I thought she
He
was.
never
I thought she
asked.
came with you.
She's
You
outside.
He's outside the circle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Observing
okay.
Yeah, not-
outside. and-
Sorry, I misunderstood
I'm
that.
the person.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that multiple people could. I thought it was only 2, but
He's the
Oh
she's
no!
the pressure relief
See,
valve.
this is how cults
have
really
to-
get started.
You haven't
But
tried
regardless,
it
in
with
this
more.
instance,
But yeah.
Jasira is the pressure relief valve, so
Okay.
that the water heater doesn't blow.
Are we sure this is the best place for blood rituals?
this is
Oh yeah.
this is the home of blood rituals.
Yeah, I know.
That is a lot of damage.
But it's hit dice, so you add the con mod too.
No, it's just the
I
die.
think it's just the value of the die.
Just the die? Okay.
That'd be brutal.
Are you still conscious, Boko?
I am. I have my
1 HP.
my Chimera's life force.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh
and
my.
I drank a healing potion in preparation. Wow, you got off pretty unscathed.
I could take
Jasira's
that to
got
hit points if I needed to.
Bandages.
What? Holy shit!
I think we're playing doctor after this. All right.
Yeah. So
Suddenly Boko
Jasira, you
explodes
can
in blood
see
again.
the actions that they take, but you won't see anything of what I describe.
Okay. I mean, he did say, "Don't listen to what you hear," so I'm just gonna,
So
you know.
I will describe what Boko does, and then I will leave it up to you, DM.
Okay.
Okay.
As Roland draws the blade off of his arm, Boko pulls out the dagger and plunges it into the arm with the symbol on it. and he holds the hand out, drawing that blood almost in this sort of anti-gravity field. As the blood spills but doesn't move towards the earth, it simply suspends itself in the air, catching this bright purple fire. Rather than, in this moment, calling out to a spirit, he is going to allow all of the safeguards from around the circle to fall flat, and he is going to leave this life essence here to be claimed at the center of the circle.
Roll me 2 d20s.
Ooh.
Together they hit an average.
Well, for this d20, you're trying to roll low.
Oh.
Okay.
Good us.
Typically,
Well done.
what would happen here is that Boko, if he's trying to call out to a certain spirit, would need to roll on the d20 lower than the combined number of hit dice. And so the DC you were trying to roll under 13, which he did twice. Because since it is in the Mournland, it is at advantage.
Oh, hell yes.
Hell yeah.
As Boko begins this ritual, Roland, you are very quickly swept into something that feels like a dream. Rather than shadows pulling around you and spirits beginning to step forward, instead it seems like the world speeds up to 1,000,000 years a second as these plants grow and fade and die and grow back, and life comes forward before it fades again. And slowly this image is built up as these pieces of wood and construction start to be assembled. There are these shadows on the edge of your vision as you start to hear the words over and over and over again, just home, 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 home. For Roland, what does Roland think of when he hears the word home?
He thinks of back dark corner with an oil lantern and a kind of run down curiosity shop almost of took the dregs of the loot that no one else wanted and tried to sell it, but that meant that they usually had all the books, all the maps, all the stories.
You can feel the soft warmth of that oil lantern. You can smell the old musty pages. You're back in that room. That soft, sweet, familiar smell, that younger version of yourself that hadn't experienced some of the darkest places of your life yet. Back when your relations were mostly positive. The worst fights were gentle arguments with your siblings. And they were often calmed by the stern voice of your mother and a hearty laugh from your father. You get lost in the pages of those books again, looking over the different shapes of continents, the images of monsters from places far, far away, the stories of heroes. You read about the great fight against some dark mist known as the Mournland. These undead creatures that had risen up to try and take over. That could have been terrible for the world. And the poets wrote about armies from different nations coming together. The bright light of angels. Even great beasts assisting in the defense of these undead, and you were lost to the words. You don't know how long you're there, and you don't even realize that Boko's not there with you until it's all over. Boko, you hear these words, home. And this wood, this place that is built around you, these planks start to assemble into this small wooden hut. A thatched roof, a gentle open door, the dark mists around you, the petrified trees, and the soft light from inside. Something familiar. It's heavy rain cascading down around you. Darkness and wind. And you see a shadow stepping into this hut in front of you. What are you doing?
Do I feel afraid?
You feel lost.
Boko looks at the figure.
You call out to the figure, but it quickly disappears within the door of the hut. You find yourself up on your feet. Oh, go ahead.
Normally, Boko would wait as he was told, but not any longer. He's not an obedient student anymore. He pushes through the doorway.
You find yourself stumbling in the rain, the wet ground caving in around you as you push and press forward. That soft, gentle rumble. The hut feels so far away from you as you try to press further and further to get closer and closer, but this rain just continues to pelt down on your face, and you can hear the thunder cascading around, booming. You stumble into that threshold and fall down to your knees. Looking into this hut, you see this shadowy figure outlined on the back wall. With a cascade of lightning behind you, you see these shadows light up this hut and the shadowy figure with these long black tendrils almost reaching out of its head, like large antlers of a beast. You try to speak and try to call out, but your voice catches in your throat. As a crash of lightning comes through and blinds your vision, you're lying on your knees, but it's not in this hut. You see flashes of the storm overhead, but you're somewhere far away, somewhere distant in your memory. Stumbled, fallen onto a wooden floor, the door lies open, fire is flooding through this town, this village that seems familiar and yet oh so distant. Screams and cries call out, and there is a heavy thud, the hoofs of animals beating across the ground. The cries cause you pain, and flashes back another burst of lightning, and you find yourself sitting in this hut. The shadows are gone, but the place is familiar. Your tools, your tables, your books, You stand and run a hand across them, everything exactly where you had left them. Another flash of lightning, and you're running back in the village, this town, this place, this fire, as you stumble and try to just get up out of bed, and it's difficult. You fall into the mud. You see death around you. You press forward, and you are picked up, swayed this beautiful white light, and another burst of lightning as it goes to shadow. These echoes of shadow across the hut again. You find yourself looking, searching for this entity. You turn around and another blast of lightning illuminates that shadow within the doorway. This time, instead of outlined in white, it's outlined in purple. And you see those deep purple eyes staring back at you. You want to move, to call out, to say something, but your body is paralyzed. You feel your muscles weak, your voice so soft like that of a child. And that wide, jagged grin, that purple line stretches as the voice speaks out again.
It's good to have you back. It's been a while, but you're always welcome. You're getting closer. Don't give up.
Don't give up. The voice is suddenly soft and gentle as you're held in hands, carrying you, pushing you through the flames, guiding you to safety. And this gentle press pushes you back into your vision. You see beside you that child, that soft smile from the picture, but he's spectral, ethereal. As he passes by your face, passes by Roland, who stands there with a distant, faded, glazed look to his eyes, as that spectral child lifts up into the sky and joins hands with another. These two lights drifting off into the distance together. You find yourself back within a short distance from the campfire. Jasira is nearby. No more rain or thunder. With a shake of his head, Roland kind of brings him out of this distant fantasy he was in and locks eyes with you, and both of you have this deep emotion from the places that you had been that you see in one another.
There's a single tear that rolls out of Roland's bad eye.
Boko, the blood is gone.
Boko looks.
But you know that the two spirits, the brothers, have made it somewhere better.
Boko looks to Roland. I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely was not that. Roland. The children. Did you see them?
No.
The one from the train and his brother. They were here. And now they are gone. They have been allowed to move on.
What did you see?
I saw 2 lives. Maybe 3. Somehow they all felt like mine. It was not like watching through a dream into the experiences of another spirit. It was not cold. But there was much pain.
How can some things simultaneously be? That you expected so much worse, and yet it was still so much worse than you expected.
I don't know why, Roland. But something calls from within. It tells me that children do not belong here in the Mournlands.
Do children belong anywhere? Or are they all just thrown into it? I am scared.
I am sorry.
And the ones who are strong become adults and add to the pile. There's a world out there somewhere, Boko, where children can thrive. I thought at some point that I would find it. But I know that that world has no place for me. I'm still adding to the pile.
I'm sorry, Roland. Boko looks over and he says, I wish to keep you no longer. The ritual is over, but please, do not break the circle on your way out.
Way out where?
Boko just gestures towards the campsite.
I see why you do it.
What'd you say?
I see why you do it.
It is not always like that.
There are ghosts, spirits that I am not ready to see. Because I'm not ready to let go of what I just saw. And he's going to stay seated in the circle.
Boko is going to join him, set down in the circle. He's going to look over to Jasira. Thank you for your watchful eye. I think I am going to spend the night here. You are, of course, welcome to join.
If you don't mind. She'll just kind of do a little meditation, crisscross, next to both of you.
As you all go into your final night's preparations, some with tales and legends, smiles and celebrations by a fire, and some with a quiet moment of internal strife. That's where we'll go ahead and end tonight's session. The Mournland is a journey that taxes one's body and mind and soul. And we thank you all for joining us as we do a little bit of the same.
What?
Next time we will finish our travel and see how this all wraps up when we reach the Starmantle Citadel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.